Commander Lisa Wheeler stood in the observation deck of the Galactic Council station. Her hands were steady, but her mind was moving fast. Below her, the massive space station rotated slowly. Blue and white lights marked the different sections where ambassadors from 7 different species worked and lived. The stars beyond were cold and distant, and they did not care about the trouble that was coming. 3 hours ago, everything changed. The ambassador, a creature made of living light and electricity, had discovered something. His scanning systems had picked up encrypted messages from Earth. Messages that were never supposed to be found. Messages that revealed what humanity had been doing for the last 10 years in secret. The other ambassadors had demanded answers. Lisa had been brought to the station within hours. Now she waited to hear her fate and the fate of the entire human species. The chamber doors opened. Ambassador entered first. He was of a species that looked like tall trees made of metal and bone. He was very old for his kind, almost 400 years old. He had seen empires rise and fall. He had seen species destroy themselves with war and greed. Nothing shocked him anymore. But his eyes showed something now, something that looked like concern. Behind came the others, 7 ambassadors in total. The Vex, whose body was made of crystal that caught and refracted light. The whose wings were folded tight against their bodies. The ambassador floated in a containment field, his electrical form crackling with energy. A massive creature covered in fur. A long snake-like being with many eyes, and finally the representative from the council. They all looked at Lisa with a mixture of anger, fear, and curiosity. Commander Wheeler began. His voice was deep and slow, like stones grinding together. Your people have lied to us. We invited you into the Galactic Council as a developing species seeking peace and knowledge. We offered you trade. We offered you protection, and this is how you repay our kindness, by building a secret military program. Lisa took a breath. She had prepared for this. General Collins had prepared her for this. She knew exactly what to say. The program exists, she said clearly. Yes, that is true, but you must understand why it exists. Earth is a young world. We are new to the galaxy. When we first made contact with your people, we did not know if you were friends or enemies. We did not know if the galaxy was a safe place or a dangerous one, so we created the program as a shield, as a way to protect ourselves. The ambassador let out a low growl. You created soldiers, super soldiers, genetically enhanced to be faster, stronger, and more dangerous than normal humans. We have seen the files. We have watched the training videos. This is not a defensive measure. This is preparation for war. No, Lisa said. This is preparation for survival, just like your species maintains military forces, just like all of you have weapons and armies. We are simply doing what every species does. We are learning to be strong. The ambassador, whose name was translated as Stormwings, leaned forward. But you did it in secret. You did it while claiming to be peaceful. You lied to the entire council. Lisa met his eyes. We were afraid. If we told you the truth, you would have stopped us. You would have thought we were dangerous, so we worked in silence. We built our program. We trained our soldiers, and now we are ready to be honest with you. We are ready to tell you that humanity will not be weak. We will not be easy to control or push around. But we can also be good allies. We can be good partners. The silence in the chamber was thick and heavy. It felt like the air before a lightning storm. Then Ambassador Vex spoke. This voice was clear like crystal breaking. Show us. Lisa did not understand at first. Show you what? Show us what your soldiers can do, Vex said. Words mean nothing. Promises mean nothing. We need to see what you have created. We need to understand the scope of what humanity has hidden from us. Lisa realized that this was the moment that would decide everything. She pressed the communication button on her wrist and spoke quietly to General Collins back on Earth. Within moments, the chamber's main screen came to life. What the ambassadors saw made them very still. The video showed enhanced soldiers doing impossible things. One soldier, a woman named, lifted a car above her head with one hand. Another soldier, a man named David, ran 100 meters in just 5 seconds. A third soldier named jumped from a building 20 stories high and landed without injury. A fourth soldier named Susan broke through a steel door with her bare hands. A fifth soldier named James threw a boulder the size of a human head across a field so far that it disappeared from view. But it was not just the physical strength that shocked the ambassadors. It was the intelligence. The soldiers were shown solving complex problems quickly. They were shown fighting in teams with perfect coordination. They were shown thinking fast and adapting to new situations instantly. They were shown resisting interrogation, resisting drugs, resisting every technique the human military could use against them. "How many?" asked the ambassador. Its many eyes were all focused on Lisa now. "Currently active enhanced soldiers number 432, Lisa said. The number hung in the air like a bomb waiting to explode. "We are continuing the program. We expect that number to increase. In 5 years, we could have 2,000 enhanced soldiers. In 10 years, perhaps 5,000. The chamber erupted. 3 ambassadors stood up at once. 2 began speaking into communication devices. 1 started typing rapidly on a control panel. The noise and chaos filled the room like a storm. Raised his voice and silenced everyone. "This session is adjourned. We will reconvene in 6 hours. Commander Wheeler, you will be kept in secure quarters. Your ship is now under surveillance. No one leaves this station without direct permission from the Council." Lisa nodded and turned to leave, but before she went, she caught something in Vex's eyes. That was not angry. That was not afraid. That looked interested. That looked like someone who was seeing a new piece in a game they had been playing for a very long time. Lisa walked out of the chamber and back to her quarters. She sent a single message to Earth. The message was simple: they know. Prepare for everything. General Collins sat in the underground command center 2 kilometers below the Rocky Mountains. The walls were made of thick concrete and steel. No signal could reach in or out without permission. No bomb could destroy what was in here. This was the heart of the Human Enhancement Program, and it was about to become the most important place on Earth. When Lisa's message arrived, Collins did not panic. He had known this day would come. He had always known. The question was not if the Council would discover the program. The question was when and how he would respond. He picked up the secure phone and made 1 call. Within 30 minutes, the entire directorate of the enhancement program was in the conference room. 12 people. The best scientists, doctors, soldiers, and strategists that humanity had to offer. Dr. Hastings was the first to speak. He was an old man with white hair and hands that shook from years of working with genetic material. He had spent 40 years developing the enhancement technology. He had put his life into this work. "We knew this could happen," said. "We prepared for this. We have contingency plans. We have backup locations. We have hidden resources across the planet. If the Council tries to shut us down, they will find it nearly impossible." "The question is not what we can hide," said Captain Aaron Foster. He was a young military officer with a face and cold eyes. "The question is what we do if they attack. If the Council decides humanity is too dangerous and sends a military force to Earth, our enhanced soldiers are good, but are they good enough to fight alien warships?" "We don't know," Dr. Nancy Price said. She was the second in command of the entire program. "That is the problem. Our soldiers have never fought in space combat. They have never fought against alien weapons. They have only trained against other humans with Earth weapons." General Collins held up his hand. The room went silent. "We do 2 things," Collins said. "First, we prepare for defense. I want every enhanced soldier put on alert. I want them in secure locations. If the Council decides to attack, we will make them pay a price so high that they will regret it. Second, we prepare a message. We tell the Council exactly what we have done and why. We show them that we are not a threat. We show them that we are a species that deserves respect." "And if they don't listen?" asked Dr. Stevens. She was the program's ethics advisor, and she looked deeply unhappy. "If they decide we are monsters that need to be destroyed?" "Then we fight," Collins said simply. "We fight to survive. We fight for our children. We fight for our future. But before we do that, we give them every chance to understand." Dr. Hastings pulled up a holographic display. The display showed the enhancement process in detail. The genetic modifications, the neural upgrades, the training regimens, the psychological conditioning, everything. "These are the real numbers," Hastings said. 212 men have been fully enhanced. 97 women have been fully enhanced. Another 123 are in progress, all volunteers, all trained soldiers before enhancement, all screened for psychological stability. "What about side effects?" asked Dr. James Henderson. He was a neurologist who had worked on the mental enhancements. "Minimal long-term effects," said Hastings. "Some subjects experienced enhanced aggression in the first few months. We treated that with medication and psychological conditioning. Now it is controlled. The enhancements are stable. These are not monsters. They are better versions of what we already are." Captain Foster brought up performance data. "The enhanced soldiers are demonstrably superior to normal humans in every measurable way. Speed increased by 300%. Strength increased by 250%. Pain tolerance increased by 400%. Intelligence and tactical processing increased by 180%. Psychological resistance increased by 500%. Psychological resistance? Asked Dr. Price. Resistance to interrogation, to propaganda, to psychological manipulation, Foster explained. An enhanced soldier can withstand months of intense interrogation without breaking. They can resist brainwashing. They can resist drugs designed to make people talk. Their minds are as upgraded as their bodies. General Collins closed his eyes and thought for a moment. Then he spoke. We send a delegation to the Galactic Council. Lisa will make a full confession. She will explain the program in detail. She will not hide anything. And with her, we send one of our enhanced soldiers. We let them see what we have created. We let them understand that this is not a weapon of conquest. This is a tool for survival. They might arrest the soldier, warned Dr. Price. Probably, Collins agreed. But that soldier will be prepared for it. That soldier will know what might happen, and it will show the Council something important. It will show them that we are not afraid, that we believe in what we have done. Foster leaned forward. Who do we send? Collins thought. Send Hayes. He is the best we have, physically perfect, psychologically stable, intelligent, compassionate. If any human can show the Council what we are trying to become, it is. And if they hurt him? Asked Dr. Stevens. She cared about the soldiers as people, not just as tools. Then we will know exactly where we stand, Collins said, and we will respond accordingly. The meeting continued for another 4 hours. Plans were made. Contingencies were prepared. Messages were drafted. The entire human military was put on alert without officially acknowledging why. Backup locations were activated. Resources were moved. The enhancement program, which had operated in secret for a decade, was now preparing to step into the light. In a training facility in Nevada, Hayes received orders to report to the Galactic Council station. He was told why. He was told what might happen. He was given the choice to accept or refuse. He accepted without hesitation. That night stood on a balcony overlooking the desert. The stars were bright above. Somewhere out there among those stars was a galaxy that did not know humanity existed as anything more than a curiosity. Tomorrow, they would learn what humans truly were. General Collins sat in his command center and watched the clock. 6 hours until Lisa and boarded their ship. 6 hours until humanity took its next step into the future. He did not know if that step would lead to peace or war. He did not know if the Galactic Council would accept humanity or reject it. All he knew was that the old world was ending, the world where humans were weak and unknown and easily overlooked. The new world was beginning, the world where humanity would take its rightful place among the stars. And there was no going back. Commander Lisa Wheeler walked beside Sergeant Hayes as they entered the council chamber for the second time. The first time, Lisa had been nervous. This time, she was calm. This time, she was ready to show the truth. All 7 ambassadors were present, was in the center seat. Vex the sat to his right, Stormwings the sat to his left. The others were arranged around the chamber. Armed guards stood at every entrance. Lisa and were searched thoroughly before being allowed inside. Lisa began speaking. She held nothing back. She explained the discovery of Earth's potential for enhanced soldiers. She explained the research phase where scientists studied human genetics and looked for ways to improve them. She explained the enhancement process itself, the genetic modifications, the neural upgrades, the training that followed. She explained the volunteers. She talked about their backgrounds, their families, their reasons for volunteering. She made them human to the ambassadors, not just tools, not just weapons, people. These soldiers chose to be enhanced, Lisa said. They knew the risks. They knew that the process might not work. They might have died during enhancement. They might have been left disabled. But they volunteered anyway because they wanted to protect Earth. They wanted to be better. They wanted to be what humanity could become. The ambassador growled something in his own language. This many eyes blinked in sequence. Words are interesting, said Vex. His voice was like crystal chiming. But we have heard many words from many species over the centuries. We need proof. We need to see what you claim is true. I propose a test. What kind of test? Asked Lisa carefully. A physical demonstration, Vex said. Not videos this time, a real demonstration. Your sergeant here will perform a series of tasks. Tasks that would be impossible for a normal human. If he succeeds, then perhaps we will believe what you have told us. Nodded, this is acceptable, but the demonstration will be conducted under our supervision, in a controlled environment where we can measure and verify. The demonstration took place in a special chamber designed for such tests. It had walls that could measure force and impact. It had equipment that could measure speed and endurance. It had weapons and obstacles and every kind of challenge the ambassadors could think of. Stood in the center of the chamber in simple clothes. He looked calm. He looked like someone who had done this 1,000 times before. "Lift that," said one of the guards. He pointed at a metal block. It was 3 meters long and 2 meters wide and weighed 3 tons. A normal human could not have moved it. A normal human would have broken their bones trying. Walked over to the block and bent down. He put his hands under it. He took a breath. Then he stood up, holding the entire weight above his head with one hand. His arm did not shake. His legs did not buckle. He held it there for 30 seconds, then set it down gently. The ambassadors said nothing. "Run," said the next guard. He pointed to a track that was 1 kilometer long. "As fast as you can." Ran. The track had sensors that measured his speed. He covered 100 meters in just 6 seconds, 1,000 meters in just 60 seconds. The speed was so far beyond normal human capability that the guards had to check their equipment to make sure it was working correctly. "Now," said the third guard, she was a scientist, "solve this puzzle." She brought out a device. It was a complex puzzle made from alien technology. It had no instruction manual. It made no sense to any human who looked at it. It had buttons and screens and connections that were designed by an alien intelligence for an alien mind. Looked at the puzzle for 30 seconds. Then he started pressing buttons. He started making connections. He started moving pieces, and in less than 2 minutes the puzzle began to glow. It displayed a sequence of images. It had been solved. The scientist stepped back. Her expression was impossible to read, but something had changed. Something in the chamber had shifted. "Final test," said Vex. He stood up and walked to, around them, every guard tightened their grip on their weapons. "A combat demonstration." "Against what?" asked. His voice was steady and calm. "Against us," said Vex. The test was designed to measure tactical thinking, speed of response, and combat ability. Vex fought with crystal-based martial arts that were ancient and deadly. 6 guards from different species fought alongside him. They used various weapons and techniques. They were highly trained soldiers from a dozen different conflicts. What they encountered was something they had never faced before. Moved with precision, he did not fight to hurt them, he fought to disable them. He used his knowledge of alien physiology that had been uploaded directly into his enhanced brain. He knew where to strike on it to cause pain without causing permanent damage. He knew how to move around wings. He understood the weak points in armor. In 15 minutes, all of them were on the ground, not dead, not seriously injured, but clearly defeated by someone who understood their bodies better than they understood their own. Helped Vex up. This crystal form had a crack in it from where it had thrown him against a wall. Vex looked at for a long moment. "Your species has created something extraordinary," Vex said finally. "Something that should not be possible for a young race. I want to know how." Lisa stepped forward. "The answer is simple. We improved the human mind as well as the human body. We gave them genetic memories. We uploaded knowledge directly into their brains. We taught them languages and combat techniques and scientific principles without forcing them to spend years learning. We made them better in every way." "At what cost?" asked Stormwings. "What did you lose when you gained all of this?" Lisa hesitated. It was an honest question and deserved an honest answer. "Some enhanced soldiers have struggled with identity issues," she said. "They are not entirely what they were born as. They are not entirely artificial. They are something new. Some have had difficulty with that, but most have adapted. Most have come to terms with what they are. They are human. They are simply human version 2.0. "I believe you have earned a demonstration of our faith," said Vex. "Station Theta 7 is under attack by raiders. These raiders are skilled soldiers. They have cost us 400 lives in the past year. If your sergeant and his team can end this threat, then the Galactic Council will recognize humanity as a military power. We will grant you full status within our alliance. We will treat you as equals." "And if we fail?" asked Lisa. "Then this program will be shut down," said, "and your people will be restricted and monitored for the next 100 years. But I do not think you will fail. I think your soldiers will succeed. I think they will show us something we have never seen before. Nodded, we will not disappoint you. As Lisa and left the chamber, they could feel the eyes of the ambassadors on them. They could feel the weight of the moment. Everything now depended on what happened at Station Theta 7. Everything depended on whether enhanced humans could do what even the greatest warriors of the galaxy had failed to do. Captain Aaron Foster stood in the briefing room of the human transport ship. 25 enhanced soldiers sat before him. These were the best. These were the ones who had volunteered for the most dangerous missions. These were the ones who had proven themselves again and again in training. Their names were Susan, David, James, Thomas, Anna, Rachel, Jennifer, Robert, Sarah, Lisa, Jessica, Daniel, Victoria, and Grace. 25 men and women who were no longer entirely human. 25 soldiers who were about to change the course of human history. The station is being held by raiders, Foster said. His voice was flat and professional. Approximately 200 of them. They are organized. They are well-armed. They have killed 400 Galactic Council soldiers in the past year. This will be the first real test of everything we have created. He pulled up a tactical map of Station Theta 7. The station was enormous, a massive structure built 200 years ago by the... It had multiple levels, multiple sections, multiple potential ambush points. We have 6 hours to clear this station. We have 6 hours to capture or eliminate every raider. We do not have the luxury of time. We do not have the luxury of mistakes. If we succeed, humanity becomes recognized as a military power. If we fail, we lose everything. One of the soldiers, a woman named, raised her hand. She had been a police officer before enhancement. She had a tactical mind and a calm demeanor. What are the rules of engagement? She asked. Are we authorized to use lethal force? Only when necessary, Foster said. The Council wants prisoners if possible. They want interrogation. They want to understand why these raids are happening. So we disable when we can, we kill when we must, but we do not massacre. Understood, said. Foster looked at each soldier in turn. You have been trained for this. You have been prepared for this. You have the strength and the speed and the intelligence that no other soldiers in the galaxy possess. Use it, trust each other, and for the love of Earth, bring everyone home alive. The transport ship approached Station Theta 7 slowly. The station was broadcasting an emergency signal. The Council had authorized human forces to land and defend it. No one was shooting at them. Not yet. Foster and his team disembarked into a scene of chaos. The station had been damaged by explosions. The corridors were dark in some sections. The air was filled with the smell of burning metal and other things that Foster did not want to identify. The station commander was unnamed. He was old by his species standards, and he looked tired and defeated. Welcome, said. His crystal body had visible cracks and damage. Your people have arrived to die with the rest of us, I suppose. We arrived to end this, Foster said simply. He had no time for pessimism. Show us your tactical situation. Show us where the raiders are located. Show us what you know. Provided information. The raiders had taken control of 3 major sections of the station. They had bombed the power systems, causing blackouts in multiple areas. They had captured supplies and were using the station as a base for their operations. They had hostages, 37 civilian workers and station personnel. We have been unable to extract the hostages, said. Every rescue attempt has failed. The raiders are well trained. They have combat experience. They have never fought against us, said. He was a former Marine with a face and steady eyes. Give us a map and stay out of our way. The human team moved through the station like ghosts. They moved fast, faster than anything soldiers had ever seen. When they encountered the first group of raiders, the difference was immediately clear. The raiders opened fire with advanced weapons. Energy weapons and ballistic weapons and fusion grenades. The humans moved like they could see the future. They dodged attacks that should have been impossible to avoid. They used the station's layout against the raiders. They collapsed a section of corridor to separate the enemy into smaller groups. 2 women named Anna and Rachel cleared an entire corridor in less than 3 minutes. They used their enhanced speed and strength to tear apart the raiders' barricade and disarm the soldiers without killing them. It was like watching a master surgeon work. Every move was precise. Every action had a purpose. A group of 3 enhanced soldiers, David, James, and Thomas, worked together to clear an entire section of the station. They moved in perfect coordination. They understood each other without speaking. They adapted to every situation. When they encountered a suicide bomber, they threw him out of an airlock before he could detonate. Not all of the fighting was. When the raiders resisted capture with overwhelming firepower, the enhanced soldiers responded with lethal force. They were not brutal about it. They were not sadistic. They were efficient. They killed when they had to, but they wounded when they could. The hardest part was rescuing the hostages. They were located in a heavily fortified section of the station. The raiders had rigged explosives around the room. The slightest mistake would kill everyone inside. Foster assigned his best people to the job, who had police training and explosives experience, who had the strength to move heavy equipment. Susan, who had medical training and could help any injured hostages. They moved into the hostage section carefully, examined the explosives. Her enhanced brain, loaded with knowledge of military technology, recognized the design. It was complex but not impossible. She began defusing the triggers one by one. And Susan freed the hostages. One of them was injured badly. Susan treated the wound quickly. There was not time for a full medical procedure. There was only time to stabilize and move. When the explosives were defused, they moved the hostages to a safe area of the station. 7 hours later, it was over. The last raider had either fled in an escape pod or been captured. Station Theta 7 was secure. The hostages were safe. The enhanced human soldiers stood in the command center, watching the council forces move through the station. Approached Foster. This expression was difficult to read, but Foster could see something had changed. Something in how looked at the humans had shifted. "I have fought in wars for 200 years, said slowly. "I have seen the greatest soldiers that the galaxy has to offer. I have never seen anything like what your people just did. You cleared this entire station in 7 hours. You rescued hostages that we thought were lost. You did not massacre anyone. You showed discipline and skill and mercy all at the same time." "We are soldiers," Foster said simply. "Good soldiers, better than most, that is all." "No," said, "you are something more. I do not know what, but you are something the galaxy has never seen before, and I believe this has just changed everything." Made his report to the Galactic Council. He did not exaggerate. He simply stated the facts. 25 human soldiers had cleared a station. They had rescued hostages. They had captured prisoners. They had accomplished in one day what 400 soldiers had failed to accomplish in an entire year. The message was transmitted across the galaxy. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not to be ignored. Humanity had created something extraordinary, and they were about to show the galaxy what that meant. The Galactic Council convened for the final time to make their decision about humanity. All 7 ambassadors were present. The council chamber was silent and tense. Outside, the stars turned slowly in their eternal dance. Inside, the fate of an entire species hung in the balance. Ambassador stood first. His metallic body caught the light in strange ways as he moved to the center of the chamber. "We have reviewed all available information," said. His voice was calm and measured. "We have examined the performance of the human soldiers at Station Theta 7. We have every claim that humanity has made. We have consulted with our military advisors, and we have reached a conclusion." He paused. The silence seemed to stretch forever. "The humans have proven their capability beyond doubt," continued. "They have proven their discipline. They have proven their commitment to principles of mercy and justice. They have proven that a young species with determination and vision can achieve greatness in a single generation. More importantly, they have proven something else. They have proven that they should be feared." A slight sound went through the chamber. Some ambassadors shifted in their seats. "But they have also proven something else," said. "They have proven that they deserve respect. They have proven that they value life. They have proven that they can be trusted. Therefore, I move that Earth be granted full military status within the Galactic Council." Stormwing stood next. The wings unfolded slightly as she spoke. "I support this motion," she said. "I have seen human soldiers in action. I have seen them defeat enemies that have plagued my people for a year. I have seen them show mercy to prisoners who would have shown them none. They are warriors in the truest sense. I support full military recognition." One by one, the other ambassadors stood and voiced their support. Even the who had been most opposed to humanity admitted that the humans had proven their worth. Even the whose many eyes had watched the station operation with skepticism agreed that humanity deserved recognition. Finally, only Vex remained. The ambassador rose slowly. His crystal form seemed to glow with an internal light. I proposed this test, Vex said. I wanted to see what humanity could accomplish. I wanted to understand what this new species had created. And I have my answer. I have seen something remarkable. I have seen humans do what they thought impossible. They have exceeded expectations. They have shown us that the galaxy is changing, and change is what keeps the universe alive. Vex turned to look directly at Commander Lisa Wheeler, who stood with Captain Aaron Foster and Sergeant Hayes. I support full military recognition for humanity, Vex said. More than that, I propose that humanity be invited to join the Council's inner circle, the circle of species that shapes galactic policy and protects the peace. I believe the human race has earned that right. The vote was called. It was unanimous. Every ambassador voted yes. Every ambassador supported humanity. Every ambassador agreed that Earth had earned its place among the great powers of the galaxy. When the announcement was made throughout the Council station, Lisa felt something release inside her chest, something that had been held tight since the beginning of this entire ordeal. They had won. They had survived. General Collins received the news on Earth. He was in his command center when the message arrived. He read the words once. Then he read them again to make sure they were real. Then he stood up and walked to a window that looked out over the mountains. Humanity had done it. Humanity had taken its place among the stars. Humanity was no longer a young, developing species that needed protection. Humanity was a power to be reckoned with. That evening, Commander Lisa Wheeler stood with Sergeant Hayes on the observation deck of the Council station. They looked out at the stars, the same stars that had seemed so vast and threatening just weeks before. "What happens now?" asked quietly. He was not a soldier at this moment. He was just a human looking out at the universe. Lisa thought about the question. She thought about everything that had happened. She thought about the choice they had made to reveal the enhancement program. She thought about the risk they had taken. "Now we go home," she said. "We report to General Collins. We continue training. We continue improving. We show the galaxy what humans can become." "Some of them will be afraid of us," said. It was not really a question. "Yes," Lisa agreed. "Some will be afraid. Fear creates respect. Respect creates partnership, and partnership is what the galaxy needs now. There are threats out there. There are challenges that no single species can face alone. Now humanity can help face those challenges." "And if they ask us to fight?" asked. "If the Council asks us to send enhanced soldiers to some distant war?" "Then we decide if it is the right thing to do," Lisa said. "We make that choice, just like we made the choice to reveal the program, just like we made the choice to prove ourselves at Station Theta 7. We are not slaves to the Council. We are partners. We choose our own path." Nodded, he understood. That was the most important thing about being human, the choice, the freedom to decide your own future. Back on Earth, celebrations began. The news spread quickly. Humanity had gained recognition from the Galactic Council. Humanity was now a military power. Humanity would no longer be an unknown quantity on the edge of space. But with that recognition came responsibility. Humanity would now be expected to contribute to galactic peace and security. Humanity would now be part of the larger community of intelligent species. Humanity would now have to grow up quickly and prove they deserved the status they had earned. General Collins stood in his command center and watched the reports come in. Enhanced soldiers across the globe were receiving new assignments. New training protocols were being implemented. The enhancement program was being expanded. The age of secret human super soldiers was ending. The age of humanity as a galactic power was beginning. On the observation deck of the Council station, Lisa and watched as their ship was prepared for the journey home. In a few hours, they would leave this place. They would cross the stars and return to Earth with the news that everything had changed. The secret human super soldier program was no longer secret. It was no longer hidden. It was no longer something that needed to be defended or explained away. It was simply what humanity had done. It was simply what humans were capable of when they were given the vision and the resources to achieve greatness. Looked at Lisa and smiled. "We did it," he said simply. "We did it," Lisa agreed. "But this is only the beginning. This is only the first step. The real journey starts now." They stood together in silence, two humans looking out at the vast and infinite cosmos. Somewhere out there, in the darkness between the stars, the galaxy was learning that humanity existed. The galaxy was learning that humans were not to be underestimated. The galaxy was learning that a new power had risen. And humanity was ready to meet that challenge.